What's up? I'm quickly shooting an intro for this video because I had a change of plans midway through. Initially, I wanted to make a longer video going over 3 beats that I did with each iridescence member. So a beat I did with Amy, a beat I did for Second, and a beat I did for Double T. I feel like the Amy section alone could be a video on its own, so I'm gonna be just dropping that today. You'll be watching it now, probably if you're hearing this. So that's the reason why the lighting is different, and it's night right now. It's evening, and I got the lamp on right there. So that's why this intro is gonna look significantly different than the rest of the lighting in these videos. So I just want to explain that. But in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the beat for fun and talking about how it is working with amyfm and how we met and stuff like that. So hope you guys enjoy. So the reason why I'm back here making a video like this is because I felt like cookups were getting kind of stale. I knew this was gonna happen when I started making these the beginning of last month. The idea is to make a cookup video, or just a video for the Smirko is Serving channel every day for 2 months straight. Just making a beat with face cam, no commentary, and seeing what happens. Just to kind of have something to do in relation to music that I'm actually putting out in the world. I knew it wasn't going to be perfect. I knew I wasn't going to always think it was that fun, or I knew I was going to phone it in often. And the idea was just to look at the day, how I'm feeling, what is the best thing to put out. And I just feel like making beats is kind of stale right now. I wouldn't say I have beat block, but I want to switch it up more and try different types of content. And I think this take on the beat breakdown might be the answer to that. I want to try to improve talking, get better at editing these type of videos. The video ID that I've conceived for this, I hope is gonna serve that purpose. So today I'm gonna break down 3 beats that I did for each iridescence member. So I'm part of iridescence, but I'm just a producer. I don't do vocals at all. I work with amyfm, Second in Command, and Double T. Those are the 3 other members of iridescence. I want to break down some beats that I did with each of them on songs that I've released, and talk about the process of working with these people and going over the beats, obviously. So with that being said, I'll open the first FLP and we'll get into it. So here's the beat for fun that I did with amyfm. I'm gonna play the beat, but I'm not doing it in the FLP because I'm using Repro 5, and I think it's gonna tank the CPU. This is a significant beat for several reasons. The reason why I want to break this beat down is because this is the first ever beat I got placed. Someone might have taken the beat for my SoundCloud in 2022 and made a song with that and put it on all streaming platforms. But as far as I know, this is the first collaboration I did. I sent the beat, someone made a song with it, and that song got released. And this is also the only song I have released that features amyfm that is released on amyfm project. I have 4 songs with him that I have released where he's like a co-artist, so it's also on his page, but those are just stuff that I put out using a DistroKit myself, and then he's just a co-artist. This is actually a song on the For Fun mixtape, EP, or what you want to call it. First of all, I know Amy from the live streams in CDTV's on CDTV's YouTube channel. CDTV, a hip hop YouTuber, music YouTuber, I started doing the live streams in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, like early 2023 on YouTube, and I started catching some of those on occasion, and that's how I met Amy, and we just clicked because we had quite similar music tastes. We specifically love Pierre Bourne a lot, so that was kind of how we bonded, and we had quite some good chemistry. So we ended up working on some music. I sent him a pack because I knew he was maybe thinking about dropping some kind of mixtape or something where he might be rapping on other people's beats. I think I ended up being the only placement on that EP that isn't produced by him at all. I think every other beat on there is at least like he's at least one of the producers on it. So there's that. That's interesting. It's a very simple beat. Only using 3 sounds for the melody, and then you got the bass, and then 4 additional drum sounds here. Like actually just the bare bones essentials. You got this sound right here, probably my favorite sound on the song. Synth Master Player, right? You guys know and love it already, I'm assuming. This is an arpeggio called Mystic Cigarette. That is a crazy name for for any sound, really. Honestly, I'm not gonna break down effects as much for these breakdowns because I think it's kind of tedious. I often tend to use the same effects on most of my beats, so I don't think it's interesting to always be like, here's supermassive, here's the little plate, here's this, that, and third. I just feel like it's often the same stuff because it just works for me. One thing that is notable on here, I do have halftime on this sound. If it wants to open, that would be nice. 1/4 right here, and I put it to smooth a little bit. If we take the halftime off, it's a lot more fast paced, but this gives it like, it feels like it's more slowed down, gives it a bit more low end as well. But also putting it to like smooth here, right? Like putting this down gives it like a little bit of a rhythm, because some of the higher frequencies of the original signal still get like chime, still kind of like chime in. So it gives a cool like little rhythm, and it makes it more full instead of like it all being just like the low end and slowed down, right? It adds a little bit of the high end back in. Yeah, we do got a bunch of reverb on there, but this is gonna sound like shit for a bit. But Repro 5, I use it a lot. I don't use it as much for cookups because, again, like my CPU starts tanking. JH Eros March from the pads. I actually don't often use the pads in here. Right, these are pretty simple, are kind of like arpeggiated chords. Pretty simple stuff. I think I got some chords on there, but it's really and some reverb. Then we got the lead here. The lead is from Nexus, magnetic one right here from the Vintage Synths 2 bank, which I did have to buy. I think it was like an add-on. Those are the melody sounds. Amy did arrange it a bit differently. He arranged it way better than I did. I don't know what I was cooking with the arrangement, but then we got the drums. Talk about simplistic, like I said, the bare essentials really. Got the Bay 808. With this weird like downward slide right there. A kick. Kind of like a Pierre Bourne-esque kick. Like I said, me and Amy both really like Pierre Bourne. This beat is very Pierre Bourne-esque, and Amy also ends up rapping on it like Pierre Bourne when he doesn't use autotune and it just goes for like some straightforward rapping stuff, like on, I think Simon Says is probably the best example. Or like Juice, for example, right? Where he's just like rapping. And Amy's able to do that sound fairly well. He doesn't do it that often, but when he does, I really enjoy it. And he tends to do it on my beats because he also did it on Golden. I think it's Golden I'm thinking of, yeah. Simple snare. Snare I often use. Stuck snare. 2-step hi-hats that I do have some rolls right here. And then open hats. Just enough progression to the beat to not be too stale, but all the bare essentials really. It's a beat I sometimes think back at and I'm like, this shit kinda could be better. But it's a start, you know, it's the first beat I ever got placed. It's not like one of the first beats I ever made, obviously, but it's the beat that got me really going when it comes down to collaborating and stuff like that. The way it usually works with Amy is I send beats to the iridescence group chat. Most of those beats will be picked up by Second and Matt, but on occasion amyfm is gonna chime in and be like, "Yo, I like this beat, I like that beat," and then I end up sending them those stems, the stems for those beats, and then eventually those will turn into songs. You know, when Amy does pick a beat from me, like I'll know it's like 99% of the time it's gonna result in a song somehow. This guy is a genius, and this guy is just like gifted at music. So he's pretty picky with his beats, pretty selective. I think selective is like maybe a better way to phrase it. I feel like picky feels very negative. It's not intended negatively at all. But I notice from him, uh, and you know, I just send a beat. I just send a bunch of beats I think are fire, and I hope that Iridescence also finds them fire. Because I feel like it's like if you're already that picky over what beats from other producers you're gonna rap on, like when you do pick a beat, I feel like you're gonna make it count. At least that's how I would perceive it. Like you're gonna end up using it, but like it's not gonna be for an amyfm project, and I'm fine with that, right? Like I put out Golden, I put out Naughty together in a 2-pack. Did the same thing for Misere and Jank, right? You know, I did those two because I feel like, you know, I did one last year, I did one this year. So I'm not saying we're gonna make that like a trend or something like that. A potential Smirko tape in the future could feature an Amy Fem song, for example. You know, I might be hoarding some of the songs I get from Amy in the future to use them for something else. I'm not gonna use this do the same shtick of dropping a double single constantly because you know this is gonna get old. But yeah, when Amy Fem sends me song back, you know, I get to delegate what happens with the song from now on. You know, for fun, it's kind of like a one-off appearance on a project that was a lot more low stakes, a lot more just a bunch of fun songs. Lucy's that Amy had in his hard drive that he just wanted to put out. He's very involved with production. With you know he is has this stuff down to a science. You know, first of all, he has perfect pitch. He has gifts that I can only dream of having. Uh, that's like stuff I gotta like try to create a vaccine or like a fucking like some kind of computer chip I gotta put in my brain to have the same powers because I can't teach that shit myself. Like I can't learn that shit. So like you gotta understand when someone like when you working with someone like that, you know, some shit's gotta be different, right? I work with Second in a different way than I work with Amy, right? Same with Matt, right? Same with Double T. So I feel like that's something you gotta accept, and I'm very happy with whenever I get a song back from Amy. I'm like, yes, sir, this one is gonna be dropped at my leisure, right? I get to decide what I want to do with this. I think that's a blessing. He's super dope. He makes great music, and I'm excited what he's gonna do next. Yeah. So yeah, this beat very simple. I know I kind of maybe rushed over the breakdown a little bit, but I want to just really talk about working with Amy. And I'm gonna be doing the same for talking about Second and Matt. Thanks for watching this video. If you made it all the way through, uh, thanks for listening to my ramblings. Cloudies, who I did crawl with, or who was on crawl with Second, just dropped a project today. I'll put the name in the cover art on screen. I'm fucking ass at remembering album names for some reason, so I'll just put like the shit on screen. Go listen to that shit because I did listen to it. I forgot. I don't think I listened to it fully, but I listened to majority of the tracks and it's fire. So yeah, go listen to my friends. Um, be excited for new music on the way. Hope you enjoyed your sweatshirt project because I sure have. That's not one of my friends, but still want to shout him out because he's awesome. Um, and you are awesome for watching this video. So that's where we're gonna end this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.